kitchen. Okay, so I already have a simple video up there of how to make a simple 1, 2, 3 gumbo. But today I'm going to teach you guys how to make a gumbo from scratch. We're going to start off with our stock, then we're going to make our roux, and then we're going to simmer all that together. So I guess that's like a 1, 2, 3 step too, right? Well, let's go. So let's start with the ingredients. I have some shrimp. I have some white Texas shrimp that I've already peeled and deveined. I've used the shells for my stock. Check that video for that. And I've diced up my Holy Trinity, of course. I have some hot sausage that I've, patties that I've made into hot sausage balls. I'm going to teach you guys later how to make the hot sausage balls. I have some diced sausage. And I have some chicken legs. So one thing I've learned to making gumbo simpler is getting all my ingredients diced and prepped before I actually start my process. So since I'm making hot sausage meatballs, I want to show you guys how I'm doing that. I'm just grabbing it just like I would do some ground beef when I'm making meatballs for spaghetti. I'm just going to grab it and like so and roll them around my fingers as so until it becomes a ball. I like to use my patent hot sausage patties when they're defrost because it's easier to work with. So if you guys get a chance, I actually have a separate video that teach you guys how to make a homemade shrimp stock. Um, it's more personal and one-on-one steps on how to make it. I didn't want this video to be too long, so that's why I separated the videos. We're gonna start off with our roux. I am using a lovely cast iron to make my roux. You can use whatever you want. I like using a cast iron because I just like using cast irons. That's just the thing I like to do. It's the thing my grandmother did, and when I make gumbo, it reminds me of my grandmother, so that's why I do it. So for my cast iron, I'm going to wait till it starts smoking like this. This lets me know that my cast iron is hot. And I'm going to put a cup of flour, and I'm going to put a cup of oil in there, and we're going to mix that together for our roux. Let's go. So roux is equal parts flour and fat mixed together to thicken up soups and sauces. It's a Creole staple. So I'm going to mix my oil and my flour together, and I'm going to basically start browning it. We want to constantly move this around for about 30 minutes, you guys. You guys see the little clumps and everything like that? Just going to keep blending it and mixing it together until those clumps are gone. I don't like the thickness of mine, so I'm just going to add a little more flour and continue mixing it all together. I'm using vegetable oil. There's not a really particular fat or oil that you can use. You can use bacon fat. You can use vegetable oil. You can use canola oil. I'm only using vegetable oil because I have vegetable oil on hand right now. So again, I'm going to continue mixing this around until it gets a dark chocolate color. So as I'm making my roux, I have a simple stock on the side that I'm making, using all the endings from everything that I'm using in my gumbo, my green onions, my shrimp shells, my chicken legs, everything. And just because I showed you guys the stock, I am still working on my roux. We want to constantly stir this around for, I said, about 30 minutes. As you guys can see, to help me not let anything stick to the bottom of the pot, I try to make like an 8 inside the pot and keep stirring it around. As you guys can see, the color is starting to get a little darker. We're kind of almost to a peanut butter color, but I want to get to a nice chocolate color. So we're just going to keep stirring it and stirring it up. Oh, it's almost there, you guys. I want to show y'all the process. I mean, I had a workout stirring this roux until it got that chocolate color I needed it to be. So you're going to constantly just stir it, you guys. Keep stirring it. Don't forget to stir the top, the bottom, the sides of this pot because we do not want anything to, you know, stick to the bottom or char or burn at the bottom. We don't want any black spots in our roux. We're just going to keep turning this roux over and over again so we can, for about 30 to 45 minutes or however long it takes for your roux to get that dark chocolate color that you need. Now here I am at this peanut butter color. Again, I want a chocolate color. So I'm going to keep going just a tad bit longer. If it becomes a little hard to handle, you just turn the heat down. If you can handle a little more, you turn that heat up and it'll start coloring a little faster. So as we got this roux going for our gumbo, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, the West Bank to be precise, and my grandmother taught me how to do this roux. I'm using this roux to darken and to also thicken my gumbo. So I'm almost to that dark chocolate color. I'm right at a dark peanut butter. Now I'm going to add my Holy Trinity to the pot, and that's what's going to help me cook that down to the color that I needed to do. So by the time I get my Holy Trinity nice and soft, this roux should be the dark color that I need it to be. So I know you guys are probably wondering, why am I going super dark on my roux? So remember, you're putting your roux inside your stock, and your stock is going to lighten up your roux. So I want a nice dark color to my roux, so I'm gonna cook it as dark as I can, so that when I mix it with my stock, I still have a nice brown delicious color for my gumbo. So I'm just gonna mix this up again, you guys. The pot is a little hotter, so I want to continue to mix up every spot that I can, so that my vegetables and that my roux is not sticking to the bottom of my cast iron. If you guys were in my kitchen, it smells a little funny in here, but that's how you know that the roux is actually cooking how it needs to be. I've blown my pot down a little bit because I don't want to overcook my vegetables or my Holy Trinity that's inside of my roux, and I also don't want to burn my roux. So I turned it down, and I'm still mixing it up until I get my nice, deep, dark chocolate color that I need to my roux. Let's speed this video up a little bit. I think we got it, y'all. I think we're down to that chocolate color I need it to be. Now I'm going to drain my stock in a separate pot, and we're going to combine our stock and our roux together. So I'm going to mix this up a little bit because I had it to the side. I'm getting my stock ready, but I'm going to loosen it up to make sure that it's easy to pour inside of my stock. There goes my stock, my homemade stock, you guys. So I have my hot stock in my handy dandy pot, and I have my roux in my cast iron. As you guys can see me using this cast iron, I have a glove on because the cast iron is extra hot. So we're just going to put all of our roux inside of our stock, every last bit of it. I'm going to scrape it out of your cast iron like so. And we're just going to mix this up real good. We're going to turn our heat up a little bit, and we're going to mix this up and let this all cook together. As it boiling together, it's going to simmer down, get thicker and things like that, and that's what we're going to let it do. This process is going to take about an hour to an hour and a half to cook down and to actually make the gumbo that you need. Right now it's just stock and roux, so we're just going to boil this together, like I said, on a high heat, and let it cook together. So while I have my roux and my stock cooking together, I'm seasoning everything. I got my roasted chicken base, onion powder, red pepper, garlic, black pepper, and I have salt. I'm going to season my chicken wings that I'm using really heavy because it's going inside water. And like I said, when I'm seasoning something that's going inside of water, I want to season it real heavy because not only is it seasoning the chicken, it's also seasoning my base. It's seasoning my chicken stock. It's seasoning my roux. It's seasoning this whole pot. So that's why I'm going to season it real heavy. So with those lovely, hot sausage meatballs we had earlier, y'all, hot sausage have so much grease in it, so I'm going to boil some of that grease out. Just put it in some water and boil it separately. This is my stock as it's been sitting and it's starting to simmer. I'm going to add, there you go, my roasted chicken base to my pot. I don't like to add too much salt and everything to my gumbo because I already seasoned all my meat. I added at the last second, but I'm going to mix that in real good and continue to let that boil. While that's boiling, don't forget we got a hot sausage on the side. Yeah, we're going to give that a good boil till all the grease come out, like about this much. And then I take all of it out, and I'm going to set it aside until I'm ready to add it to my pot. I'm ready to add it right now, you guys. So I'm going to add it to my pot. All my meats that I had to the side that I wanted to simmer. Remember I told you guys it's going to take about an hour and a half? That's because we have chicken wings in there that need to cook down. We have our hot sausage and our regular smoked sausage that need to go and marry together and become friends and get to know each other. There's a little grease that's coming at the top of the pot. That's okay because of the skin of the chicken wings and things like that. I'm going to show you guys how to skim that off. So I'm going to mix this all together. This has been about, I'm going to say about an hour of cooking, or almost an hour of cooking. I'm going to add my hot sausage now because remember we already pre-boiled our hot sausage. So it already was cooking, and I wanted to get all that grease and fat up out of the pot from the chicken wings before I added the hot sausage. We would add more grease to the pot. And I'm going to let that all cook down, and then I'm going to skim the top of it. In a second, I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So to help to skim the pot, to get all the grease together easier, I'm going to stop stirring like I did. And as you guys can see along the sides of the pots, all the grease is coming together. So I'm just going to take a scooping spoon, and I'm going to press against the water, letting the grease come on. Yes, some water and stock will come. It's okay. Just make sure you're getting the grease out of the pot. I leave a little grease, not too much. I don't like all that grease in mine. You might like it. It's your pot. If you don't want to skim it and it's taking too long to skim it, then don't. That's what I'm doing. I don't like all that grease. So after I skimmed it, I just let it boil for about another, I guess I want to say another 25 minutes because it's been about an hour and 25 minutes. That's why I'm adding my shrimp for the last 5 minutes. Shrimp does not take long. The seafood does not take long to cook. I've also seasoned my shrimp with everything we talked about in the beginning, my salt, my cayenne pepper, everything like that. The only thing different I added was a little bit of seafood boil, or the shrimp and crab Zatarain boil. I added that to it just to add a little kick to my pot. Ooh, this is coming together nicely. You guys, I forgot about my crab. I did not defrost my crab, but it's okay. I'm just going to add my crab in frozen. I have frozen blue crab that's already clean. You guys can see all the head is off of it. All the inside is clean out, and I'm just going to add it to my pot just like so. I've already been tasting it, so I know how seasoned it is. If you guys need to season it more, please do. I do not. I've seasoned mine perfectly, so I'm just going to add all my clean blue crabs and the claws. I love claws. I love the claws more than I love the shrimp. So you guys can see I have a bunch of claws in there too. Yeah, I'm going to add that all in there the last 5 minutes of cooking. Also, I realized adding in the frozen shrimp has stopped the boiling process of the gumbo. You see how the boil is starting to stop? And that's perfect because I don't want my seafood overcooked anyway. And I've turned my pot off anyway at this time. So I'm just going to add that in there. And when my seafood is done, my pot is done, y'all. You have now made your first pot of New Orleans seafood gumbo. So this is exactly 5 minutes after I had to let the seafood sit in. As you see, the shrimp have become a nice color. The crabs have turned all red and nice and luscious. If y'all were in here, y'all would not be upset. And if y'all cooking this the way I told y'all to, I know y'all not upset. I know your house smell good. Enjoy the holidays. And you guys eat good. Just want to leave you guys with a final tip. Where I'm from, we serve our gumbo with white rice, and I love a little potato salad.